Ooh, the author's name?
No, the Anika or
Say it
Anis.
however say however
It
you,
flows through you.
yes, whatever your heart says.
I would say Anika, but
Anika?
that doesn't even make sense because it has like that syllable juncture with the two N's. So
That's why I thought it was Annika.
Anika.
Like
Annika?
Anakin? I don't.
Because if you think of all the words that have like two N's, I mean, this isn't like an English name. I don't think so. It doesn't matter. But if you think of English, it's like annotate or
Yeah.
Canister.
Announce.
Annika.
Canister?
that's not even the same syllable.
Whatever. Annika. I'll follow with you. I'll follow that dumb bitch, but
All right, so we'll do Annika.
all right. We're here.
Hello,
do this.
Internet. After quite a hiatus, Only Lovers went on vacation, but like in the middle of the in the middle of the semester.
You had a book slump.
Yeah. There was one book that we just didn't want to read, and then another book and then everything got really busy. But oh no, we're here, and no, it's good to be back. I missed you guys, and I hadn't read a garbage romance in a while, so good to be back. So if you're new here, or if you're that one person who just like, I'm kidding. We're Only Lovers left in the library.
I'm really mad that someone disliked us. I want to know who that person was.
No, that's the beauty of YouTube. We don't ever get to know. But I feel like that we made it. We got one, you know?
We have a hater. Yeah.
Yeah, like we made it. So far we only had like legs, and now we have like, and it was a book we loved that we thought was really cute. So fuck it. That's whatever. Anyway, so we're Only Lovers left in the library. We're a subgroup. We read we read romance with a vaginal fantasy. And this month, or at least for November, we read the literary masterpiece, The Flame and the Arrow by Emigh Cannaday.
Sure.
I'm not sure how to pronounce that. It was
That's
free
fine.
option, and so we have some feelings. So, but let's read the summary. What was this book about, Andrea? Tell us, based on Goodreads. Like, what was the Goodreads summary?
Sorry, I just like heard something in the hotel room next to me, which means they can probably hear me. This is gonna be like, anyway, whatever. I do have headphones. Maybe I'll grab them in a second. Okay. So
As long as you don't hear screaming.
Yeah, right. Like if it's a murder, like that would be.
but I don't know. It's a nice hotel. I don't think anyone would get murdered here. Okay. It says, "Don't do it, Annika," he taunted. His eyes were no longer bright and charming, but dark and intense, yet they still twinkled. He was tempting, but was he harmful? Aspiring rock star Annika Brisby thinks she knows where her life is going until she steps through a broken portal that leaves her stranded in a realm of fairies, vampires, and other mythical beings. Unable to return until it's repaired, she's rescued by wood nymphs who believe her sudden arrival is no accident. After being taken in by a prominent family of elves, Annika finds herself struggling to resist the seductive spell of their youngest son, Talby. Equal parts arrogant and alluring, the notorious heartbreaker seems like the perfect distraction for her homesickness. Her new friends warn her that she'll probably regret ever laying eyes on him, and what begins as a casual fling quickly burns too hot to handle. By the time Annika learns the consequences of their forbidden tryst, Talby's already under her skin and dangerously close to her heart. But on the journey home, she discovers that there's a mountain of secrets that he's not telling her, and Annika can't help wondering who's really in danger. Previously titled Balkan Magic, The Misadventures of Annika Brisby.
That sounds nothing like what I just read.
Oh, look, I gave it 2 stars. Christina gave it 2 stars. Tashay, you did not give it any.
Forgot to mark that I finished reading it. Let me go on to Goodreads right now.
That's why I asked you the other day. I was like, "Did you finish?"
I forgot.
By then, I had finished, and I was like, did you? I don't know. You didn't put it on your Goodreads. Okay, Tashay, since you're rating it right now, let's go around and give overall impressions. What did you think of?
What is this? It's called The Flame and the Arrow.
The Flame and the Arrow? Yeah.
That's how much I like this book.
Hang on, I'm gonna grab my headphones.
Refreshes Goodreads.
Sorry.
You're fine.
Oh, Lord. People kept asking me what book I was reading for book club, and I was like, I don't fucking know.
I don't even know what this book is called.
Fire.
Guys, I have
Everybody.
5 of these gigantic plushy pillows in my hotel room.
Ooh.
God, so lucky. It's like Talvi's bed. So comfortable.
Yeah, but encrusted in sperm.
Ew.
Oh, God. No, the brownies come and clean that. They like hire the brownies.
Oh, Jesus.
Okay. Whoa, okay. No me sale that you rated it.
All right.
Okay. I had to add it to like currently reading, and then I had to put it to read.
Oh, got it.
All right, so tell me, I'm dying of suspense. How do you really feel about this book?
Wait, can you guys hear me? I think this has a microphone.
I can hear you fine. That is the microphone, that little thing right there.
The little nubbin.
Yeah, got it.
So, just rated it.
2 stars? 1 star? I can't see it.
Ooh,
I gave it 2 stars.
Okay. So we agree unanimously. It is a 2-star book.
I gave it 2 stars because, like, one of the first times they had sex, I was like, oh, word, okay.
That's true. Also, the deer.
Yeah.
Yeah. I really like the magic.
Okay, so
Jeez. Okay.
how did I feel about this book? This book is pretty much all style and no plot, in my opinion, because they conflict that they tried to create was literally the only thing happening for the great majority of this book, in my opinion. And there was no conflict for like 95% of the story. And then at the end, they tried to...
65% of the book, I was like, what is the story? They're just hanging out at this house?
Exactly. I'm like, is the conflict that she can't get over the fact that this dude is a slut? Which, by the way, she's 25? He's 300 years old. If you think that he hasn't spent the vast majority of his life fucking around when he looks the way the book describes him, you're fucking dumb, okay? Like, I'm sorry. I'm surprised when, like, a 30-year-old I know who's very handsome hasn't banged male population in the area that I'm currently living in. That's surprising to me. This man has been alive for 300 years, and he can't get an STD, and he doesn't, like, get... and his hair's always looking fly, and he can build tiny houses. Like, yeah,
he plays music and is like very good at it.
Exactly. Like, he's getting laid. I wouldn't even pretend to have the conversation with him of like, what's your number? Like, nah, girl, that's like trying to find the end of pi. Like, don't put yourself through that. Don't put yourself through that. You get tested. If you got a clean bill of health, cool. You move along. And that's, like, the main conflict through all of this is her being like, I'm not jealous. We're just hooking up. I don't want to date him. It's not a big deal. What do you mean that he has ex-girlfriends? And it's literally, that is the center conflict for 95% of the book. And then in the end, they're like, oh, yeah, there's bad guys who, like, created this thing, and that's why the portals are destroyed. Murder everybody. One person dies. Oh, not really. The end.
Like, if you took out all of the... Imagine if you took out all of the romance... How much of the book would be left over? Think about that.
It'd be like a 25-page book.
It would be a novella, if that. It would be just like fan fiction, I swear to God. It would just be so short.
So, all in all, I just... Sorry, whoever wrote this.
It's okay.
I hope you never watch this.
I'm sorry.
What about you, Andrea? What did you think of the book?
It was definitely, like my mom would call it, un merenguito. You definitely it required no, like, critical thinking at any point. I don't know. I started out kind of into it because I was like, magical deer that let you ride their backs and like wood nymphs, and like I was like really pumped for it, but then I got less pumped and then it just kind of went down. And it was like so it like started out this way and then it started going down, and there would be like little blips each time they had sex, be like, ooh, that was kind of cool, back down. Ooh, that was kind of cool, back down. And then that's just kind of how it went, like towards the end. And then once it got to certain scenes, which I'm sure we'll discuss, that made me very angry, it just went like underground and it stayed there.
Just like in the negatives.
It's just in the negative. I still gave it 2 stars because I finished it. It wasn't like that fish book that I hated and couldn't even finish. That I will never get over. I will never get over that book. So it was 2 stars because it was better than that.
Oh, jeez. I don't think it was better than that. I don't. This was mine.
You like the fish book. You read the sequels, Christina. You're biased.
But still, I don't know. Anyway, so okay, I'm gonna say my piece now.
Yes.
I almost didn't finish this. Like I was down to the wire. Like, do I really want to finish this? Because I was just super bored the entire time. I thought that the idea of it was really good. You know, alternate world, there's a lot of fantasy, there's a lot of magic, but when it boiled down to it, there wasn't enough adventure for me to keep it going. I wish that the romance had occurred throughout the adventure rather than it just began and had the first conflict and was consummated even before they left for, you know, the portal stuff. Mm-hmm. And so it just kind of really took the steam out of it for me. Because, like, then what was I reading it for? I mean, I don't give a shit that the portals aren't working. Like, I don't care that she needs to go back home. And I didn't like the main character, but I just feel like the way she was written was very Mary Sue. Everybody that she met fell in love with her. All of the women were really bitchy with her. Even the nymphs at one point are just like super bitchy. You know, like they get all mean girls, and she's like, well, whatever. She stands up for herself, but it's like whatever. She ends up in this like weird magical land, and she's super chill. Like, she is like half nymph, half human. And I don't know if that played a role in it at all, but she was just it was so easy for her to just be like, boom, okay, this is fine. And she was chill about riding deer and like befriending wolves and about evil portals. And, you know, even up to a certain point, she even forgets about home because she's having such a good time, but she can't be super chill about her 300-year-old crush. Just kind of having a life. Like, that
also, you know what was
to be super chill about.
You know what was really weird is for someone whose like entire life was all about like her band and making music, she was surprisingly okay with just like piecing out and abandoning her band to like go travel and visit her uncle. Like,
God, that killed me. Like, okay, I like how they make a joke. I thought that, I don't know if this was on purpose, but they call her a modern girl, right?
Oh my God, you modern girl.
You're such a modern girl. Like, you know, you're such a modern girl. And the thing is that she leaves her boyfriend or her would-be fiance, because she doesn't want to like give up her rock and roll lifestyle.
Because
but then she gives it up.
Her dream.
But someone cooks for her uncle and all of his like bug catching friends, and I'm like, that was super modern. I didn't know if the book was poking fun at her that way or not, but I'm like, that's not very modern.
What kind of uncle does she have who is in this like amazing house and all these rooms and all this, and he is like gaunt and pale and desiccated because he can't make his own dinner? Do they not have takeout in like wherever the hell it is that she's living? I'm pretty sure people deliver.
They don't. They clearly don't.
I'm pretty sure they have like
he can't like fry an egg.
Go to the bakery.
They just can't go on a buffet.
And I know, and it's so funny that, like, she, like, goes into fairy world, and then she comes back, and in the time she's been gone, he goes back to being, like, all gaunt and deathly looking.
Like, I'm not saying that corporate America is great, but like globalization of markets and brands means that there's probably a domino somewhere there.
Also, I refuse to believe that like he can be such a terrible cook that he literally can't like make himself some like fucking like white rice or like chicken breast, like enough to keep himself from getting like super super.
And it's him and like the rest of the guys too. They're just
Yeah.
fucking useless. They don't know how
make
to.
some
I mean,
toast,
it's not
asshole. Like,
believable.
Jesus Christ.
Also, I'm just saying, like, she was cooking them a bunch of fancy things, which I assume costs a lot of money. He probably could have just hired, like, a chef or some.
Exactly. A cook, a
Yeah.
maid, a like live-in
But I just
housekeeper.
that's one of the things. Like like that internal logic, and it just didn't exist for me. Her being chill about certain things and not being chill about others, and then like her uncle and just the way that everything got set up was just bizarre. And even I mean, I love the magic world. You know, the twin Earth. I thought that was cool. But I'm like, well, how is this economy? Like, how is this functioning? I had so many questions, and they were just kind of glossed over. And I think the thing that peeved me the most is that, yeah, everybody was like in love with her, even characters that were like in love with other people, supposedly. And she was just really, yeah, I mean, which I guess is normal, but like one of the first things that I thought this was going to be like really much sexier than it actually was is, you know, when she's talking with this Finn guy, the brother, and, you know, she's, and then Talvi is there too. And she's like, I wouldn't mind, getting flirted at by like two brothers. And I'm like, oh, is this going to be like a thing? Like she's going to have sex with these two guys? No, that didn't happen. No, okay. That was disappointing. I wanted more.
And I had an issue with the way they portrayed like her sexuality, because she's supposed to be so madly in love with Talvi and so conflicted, but anytime any hot guy showed up, she's like, I'd throw my puss at him. Like,
Just that way?
give it to him. He can get it. He can get madly in love with Talvi. Like, I'm madly in love with him. Like, it's fucked up that he had ex-girlfriends. I can't believe he talked to his ex the other night, but like, he can get it. Mija, o te peinas o te haces rolo. Like, either you're okay with you guys having an open thing and you can fuck all these other magical men while he's doing whatever he's doing, or you guys have a monogamous relationship and he doesn't talk about his exes and you don't throw your puss at whatever hot guy shows up. Because, like,
like, they, like, justified it, like they would, I don't know. I felt like they were always trying to justify it. So, like, when she was, like, flirting with the brother, it was, like, she was, like, trying to figure out, like, who was less slutty, like she was like, oh, he's had all these girls in his bedroom, but not the brother, like he's the smart one who like doesn't like him. So maybe I like him. And then when she got rescued from the vampire and they were like, oh, the amulet made her super horny and that's why she was like into what's his face, I don't remember his name,
Nikolai.
Yeah, but
Nikolai,
then like after that, when the amulet was not doing anything, she was still kind of like,
He was in her heart. Like, he made it what? Don't know. I don't know. I guess Lord of the Rings-esque kind of journey does that to you. If you're just like a thirsty white girl. Just fucking want to have sex with all of the boys.
Fake redhead, by the way.
Yeah. And
like, that was funny. That was funny.
That's the one funny part of the book.
Yeah, that was actually really funny.
Oh, okay, you're almost as fiery as a real redhead.
Okay, so I want to talk about Talvi and how he acts when he meets her, and as their relationship goes on, how he changes, and how I understand. Look, I played Dungeons and Dragons, and I know that elves are not supposed to be like super mature until they're under like 100. But Talvi was going to be 300 years old. And see, this is when I start thinking that the vampires in Twilight aged better than another character in a book. This is when things get serious. Because let's take a look at Edward Cullen and the Cullens. So they're living for like a bajillion years because they're immortal. What do? They go to school and they like, they live their lives. They're like, they have their traumas.
They open,
but they're basically just like grown-ups, and and you could tell it. He's like he's just like an old man when he meets her, and that's why when he meets Bella, and he's like super boring, and not boring, but he's just a chill guy because he's lived his life. And so I'm like, what the hell is wrong with Talvi that he's 300 years old? Technically doesn't really have a career or anything he's serious about, and why is he so...
Hey, don't say he doesn't have a career, okay? He works really hard.
Oh, he works hard watching the weather change. Oh my god, I wanted to
chop wood when it's frozen outside, and like,
you don't know what it's like to not live without a microwave or a washing machine. I have to wear this shirt all the time. Okay, look, I broke this shirt I broke it here when I was 4, and I'm like, shut the fuck up. Just shut up.
I get to complain about wearing the same shirt for years. You spent it at the bar. Decisions were made, Talvi. Okay? You can go buy another shirt.
Immortal. You'd live forever. Just shut up. Stop complaining. Stop trying to make me feel bad for you. I don't feel bad for you. You know, this book got so ridiculous for me that I couldn't cast anybody, because when a book gets this silly for me, I start imagining it like an anime. And that was the only way I could get through it, if it was like an anime and just like everything was just really like, I'm the Jedi's boyfriend. Like, that's how I was able to be like, oh, okay, this is normal. But yeah, I don't know. That's how I felt about that. Sorry.
No, I pictured them as cartoon characters, because there was like none of these characters are real. Like, none of these are even to being real at all. Also, I don't know that I can get behind a story that has like fairies and wood nymphs and elves and vampires. Like, one of these things is not like the other. One of these things, it doesn't belong. Why are vampires
and druids here? And like fucking terrorists, like Una Men's kind, Illuminati confirmed. Eco terrorists.
Make more sense.
That was so weird too. It was like they were like environmental terrorists. Like it was so strange.
It was an allegory for climate change, guys. You know, and how just people are awful. Like during the council meeting, you know, they're like, these humans, they even cut their stomachs because they're so big. And then she doesn't even like, she feels embarrassed, and she doesn't like stand up for them. She's like, oh yeah, that's gastric bypass. Oh yeah.
Everyone gets that.
But seriously though, like, that was like a really weird example to use, because I feel like that's not like such a oh my gosh.
Specific. It was so specific.
Well, and it was just such like a weird, like, I would have said more like, oh, like X% of, you know, humans are like overweight or whatever, but like, oh no, some humans cut their stomach. Like,
or X% of humans are starving, and the other half live in the lap of food luxury. People in this part of the world push a button and get a feast, while this other half can't even get clean water.
I really enjoyed that they were like, am I remembering correctly, were they all like vegetarian?
Yes.
I like that.
They were vegetarians.
I enjoyed
that was cool. I was like, I was thinking the same thing. I'm like, Andrea's gonna like this. She's like, aren't you a vegetarian? He's like, actually I am, but you know, we need human blood or whatever. Okay, so yeah, I was confused about the appearance of vampires as well. But honestly, at this point in the story, what else could it be? More bitchy girls being bitchy to the main character?
Oh my god.
They ran out of girls.
Plus they needed the vampires, because that was literally the only way that they could have this girl that I already forgot her name die and then come back.
Yuri, the twin sister.
Yeah.
Who I also had trouble with, because
did she want to fuck her brother? Did she want to save her brother?
I thought the whole thing about the prophecy was really weird. It's like that whole thing was just very weird. Like, that whole prophecy, and like how everyone handled it, and then how everyone was suddenly very like surprised by it, even though they've literally known about it their entire lives.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Is there still robot voice to show?
No. Now you guys are moving.
A second.
Oh.
That black pen, the black quill was pretty cool though. The one that they used to trace their
The family tree.
That was pretty cool. I'm like, oh, that's cool. I like that. That's actual magic. I kept like waiting for magic to happen though. Like I felt like they were living in this like fantasy realm, but I kept waiting for, why do we need matchsticks? Like we're nymphs and stuff. Like why can't we just like make fire? I don't know. We're like vampires and like elves, and I'm like, can no one make fire?
Wait, and we also had ogres.
Ogres and unicorns.
And unicorns.
Unicorns. Which, again, even the unicorn loves this girl from the beginning of the story. And she has done nothing to earn this unicorn love. That upset me. I'm like, what's she done? She's done nothing. She's just there being dirty.
Also, not to be like a unicorn purist or anything, but unicorns only approach virgins.
Yeah, and this girl was like...
was not. But we're not going to shame her for that. I'm just, we're just saying, according to mythology.
According to the lore.
As someone who has a book full of all, like, the old Latin paperwork regarding unicorns.
Latin paperwork?
Oh, yeah, I have this weird book that's supposed to, like, prove that unicorns existed and has all these, like, old scrolls and stuff. It's in Latin and in Spanish. It's very strange. I'll send you pictures of it when I get back home.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm really into unicorns.
No, yeah, it's supposed to be like a virgin breastfeeds them, and that's how you get the unicorn to come to you in the forest.
Yeah, that's how the hunters would bait them. They would get these like random little virgin like teenagers and like drag them out to the woods to like bait the unicorn.
This is the first time I hear about this unicorn.
What?
What? I've never heard of this unicorn stuff. Like,
yes.
It's very bizarre.
Them.
I don't know how I feel about it. Anyway, well, the unicorn, she wasn't a virgin, and she does nothing. The unicorn shows up, flicks its beautiful magical mane, and just kind of like leaves her a strand of its hair that she wraps around this engagement ring that she won't get rid of.
Oh, yeah. I didn't understand that. I have no idea how this, like, hair stayed wrapped.
Just wrapped around the eye roll is real.
I can't. There was so much bullshit. I'm gonna leave you a magical hair that serves no purpose.
The only reason it's there is, spoilers. To be stolen. Which is, that made me fill with rage. I was like, why would you take someone's unicorn hair? Why would you do this?
Yeah, that made me mad.
Who told you could do this?
I also don't know why she even, like, okay, he was a dick for, like, taking it and, like, using it, but she was also really dumb. Like, if my boyfriend was like, hey, give me your super rare unicorn hair, I'd be like, no. Like, what do you want it for? I wouldn't just, like, give it to him.
Yeah.
Like, that was, I don't know.
Okay. Story aside. We already talked about the elves. We already talked the magic and about how, like, fucking Annika sucks. Okay, she's just.
Wait, are we gonna share our funny quotes?
Yes, I was gonna. Well, I want to ask you guys this. I want to ask you like the stupid. I tried. I'm trying. It's like unicorn milk. Okay, so
Sorry, you like traumatized Christina.
Yes, I did. I mean, yes, I am. Okay, so like when they're having that stupid argument about, she's like, "Oh, I'd love to live here because all you do is nap," and he's like, "No, we don't even have microwaves here." When they're having that argument, I feel like he does make some good points, and I wanted to ask you guys, in the current situation where we are right now, would you, if you could choose,
yes,
stay in the real world or still go to magic unicorn don't follow the rules world?
Absolutely. Magic unicorn befriend all the deer world.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I would too. But I'd stay away from like all those fucking people.
Everybody. I'd be like, hey, Christina, Andrea, turns out I found a portal. I'm not
Yeah.
high, I promise. Here, I'm gonna take a selfie at the portal. You see the portal? I peeked
Okay,
inside and there's
so
all
question:
animals
if you had landed there instead of what's her face, which of the boys would you have fucked?
Oh my god.
None of them, because I would have been too busy exploring and developing my magic.
No, but okay, if you
I love how we had like I say all of them, Tashay says none of them. I'm just like, oh, okay, never mind. Oh, that's what we're doing? Never mind.
no, Tashay, but if you had to pick one of these characters, like if you were just like dying and you needed some penis now, and those were the only ones available, which one would you pick?
I'd fuck Finn because I have to assume that he's very quiet, but when he's in a closed, he gets like fucking weird. Because Tomby's like putting his dick on every tabletop to like show off because that's how hot he is. Finn is handsome, reads a lot, knows like 90,000 languages. Quiet, and you can't tell if he wants you or not. Like, fuck yeah, this is a challenge. I don't know what your dating life is. I don't know what your history is. I feel like you're into some weird shit.
I would go with is it Nikolai?
Yeah,
because I dig the whole like he can like change shape and stuff. He's like the magic beast.
I thought he was
I'm into
cool.
that.
He could shapeshift.
Also, I was really impressed. Okay, I really like guys who can have like a ridiculous amount of self-control even if they're like dying inside. Like I think that's super sexy. And the fact that like she was like all over him and like, here's my pussy, and he was like, I'm gonna put your pants on now. All right, I'm gonna step back. Like I love that.
That scene was so intense, and that made me like him a lot more.
That made me think he was super sexy.
Yeah, I mean, I thought that Talvi, for all of his faults and stupid jealous boyfriend, you know, he basically dissolved into like a jealous, overprotective boyfriend. He became the guy that he basically became interchangeable with all the romance heroes that, you know, realize that they need to protect their woman, little dove, or whatever. And so he became that. But I did like Finn. I thought he was way too passive, just way too chill. Although I thought it was cool that he read and that, you know, he had just a bunch of books and he could speak. He was really smart. He could speak all these languages. But I thought he was like way too passive.
I feel like it's one of those things where like Talvi is such a fucking child that Finn's like, I'm just gonna not. He's like, you can have the attention, Finn. It's fine. I'll be over here. But I feel like when he goes over here, he gets down.
Mm-hmm. Okay, but yeah, I'm a Nikolai fan.
That's fine. I thought he was cool, but since he just became another love interest when they introduced him, I didn't care. I don't remember what the description of what he looks like is. Like, I guess I could sort of picture him as Owl's Moving Castle, maybe.
I pictured him like this one
like
British actor. I don't remember him. I'll send you guys a picture. Let's talk about our favorite lines and the euphemisms for private parts.
I feel like if I roll my eyes anymore, I'm gonna see the inside of my skull.
I'm just gonna make a gif of you just like just constantly. Just like
Kris, did you say you had like multiple quotes marked?
I just have the infamous
I just have
quote.
that one too, so we can just share it.
Okay.
I have a couple.
Do it to try. Right,
you know what? You know what though, Christina? You can take that one, and I'm gonna take one that's literally on the same page but further down.
Okay, so this is when he is like they are gonna have sex. Oh no, they're not gonna have sex, but you know, she finally like kind of like gives in. He's giving her the tour of the house. And
I think they get to third base, right?
They do. Well, he like finger bangs her. Is that their base? Is that their base? I don't know what the base is. I'm not like that. Okay, so he's like
second and a half base.
Okay, so his mouth and his eyes pressed shut and a long, drawn-out sigh escaped from his nose. What is it? "It's you," he murmured, and shook his delirious head before looking at her. "I didn't expect your hot little honeycomb would be spilling over with nectar already."
Also, flowers have nectar.
If someone said that to me, I'd be like,
and then he like continues it.
"We're done here. Goodbye."
Wait, you need to finish the paragraph though, Christina, because I feel
here we
like
go.
yeah.
I didn't know if that's what you were gonna read. Okay, so it says he carefully slipped another. Oh my God! If anyone is underage, okay, go away. Shoot.
You shouldn't be watching this.
Yeah, it's late. He carefully slipped another finger inside, making her shudder and twist in pleasure at his fluid movements. "Why, you are absolutely dripping with honey! Gods be damned if I can't last long enough to savor every drop." By the way, dripping is in italics. Why?
Wait, and then I'm gonna continue because further down the page,
Please continue.
he says, "Do you still think elves are small?" And she says, and he has, or have I convinced you otherwise? And she says, "I stand corrected." She half laughed. Now, you're too short for that. Let's keep you on your back." Like, why are you making, if I was trying to have sex with someone and they were making, like, jokes about, I don't know, that's just really dumb. I stand corrected. So no, you're not standing, sweetie. You're
and it was the first time they were gonna have sex, and so it was just so awkward. I would, like that, if you're gonna do it the first time, you're just kind of getting to know the person, and things can be funny. None of that was funny.
I just don't get the honey thing, honestly. It was just really weird.
I think they were trying to keep vegetarian.
No.
Keep it in the nature theme. Keep it in the nature theme.
I wish I had highlighted more things.
Flowers.
I think it just calls back to that quote that he tells her.
Yeah.
That it's like, "Oh, Marie something," and it means something about "a lick my bee's legs."
Yeah.
Because there's a bee. It was like this fairy is a beautiful fairy saying. I remember when the girl was explaining it to her, she says, "But my translation, I mean, what he's saying to you is absolutely beautiful. Okay, it's about a bee, and it goes from one flower to like another flower, and like because that's the only way they can mate." And I'm like, I'm sure like in their fucking language that's amazing, but that sounds like the worst thing. Like, "Yeah, I can't wait to lick my bee's knees." Why would you say that?
Oh my God, wait. Do you think they tried to make fun of the phrase "you're the bee's knees"?
I don't know.
I can't gauge how serious this is because it feels dead serious to me. But at the same time, how could it be? Why would it be that serious?
I don't know.
There's something called a Fairy Poppins, and that's where they got the idea of the bag that they take on their journey. It's called the Carrie Poppins, because the Fairy Poppins, it's a bag that you can fit all of the stuff in it, and that's where the idea for Mary Poppins bag came from. And I'm like, hey, that's rude. Don't invalidate that woman's career. Come on. Let me find another quote. Okay, this is from when she. Okay, go for it.
I was gonna say I had this like continuity issue that just kept pissing me off at one point when they were doing it, because it's like everything is accounted for. It's the night before they're gonna go on the actual big journey, and they're like gonna hook up, and it's like, where is it? It's she felt her blood pressure rise as he rested his hands inside her pants and slid them down a few inches. Right? Then skip to the next part. It says, perhaps I've been too rough with you, he suggested, and let his fingers dance over her hips. She felt her blood pressure rise as he rested his hand inside her pants.
Oh, yeah,
they use the same sentence in two separate sections of the same love scene. Do this in two separate areas. They do this in this situation and in another one. But it's literally pressure rise as he rested his hand inside her pants. Next page. She felt her blood pressure rise as he rested his hand inside her pants. Next page. His hands coaxed her pants down a few more inches. How high-waisted are her jeans?
They're super high-waisted. They're like the American Eagle kind. They go up to like
Because
your ribs.
Description of what's going on here, he's pulling her pants down for a good 15 minutes, and
she's wearing jeggings. That's what it is. And he's just like, and like they're sticking to her, and then like
jeggings that like reaching up to her throat. She's wearing a speed suit.
She's just so sweaty.
It's all pants. Oh my god! But I remember I was reading it, and I got to that part, and then I got to the part where it repeats the sentence, and I was like, did I just find a glitch in the Matrix? I like went back, read it, went forward, read it again. I was like, that's literally the exact same sentence.
Yeah, that's kind of annoying. I remember you telling me about that, and I have a bookmark too. That's weird. I don't know. I feel like it might be in this, but if it's in two different sections, curious.
I don't know, man. I think they're like, maybe they won't notice
when you find a mistake.
But I think I don't have it marked, but I feel like she did that about other things too, or like I feel like she's just a very repetitive writer. Like a lot of the times I felt like I was being told things that I had already been told.
Yeah, there was a bunch of exposition, man. Oh my goodness, I didn't care for it.
All right, I'm gonna read one more quote, and then we can because all of them are just
that we can fucking stop. For real.
So, at some point, she has like an argument with the girls, and that's when there's this like huge blow up about like between the wood nymphs and her, because the wood nymphs thinks that she's like being slutty and flirting with too many people and shouldn't be. Ben is pissed. Talvi's pissed, so she goes for a long time trying to understand what had caused the Samodivi, that's the name of the wood nymphs, to turn their backs on her. Was it just a difference in the local customs, or were they unfamiliar with her American style of brash confidence and being a little too friendly? You're not brashly confident. You're kind of just an asshole. And you're trying to stick your puss on anything with a dick.
That is absolutely true. So true.
So I'm just brashly it's like the equivalent of
these foreigners just don't get me. These immigrants.
In my mind, it was like a Mean Girls. In my mind, it was like a Mean Girls of the like, I'm sorry that all of you were just so jealous of me, and that like, sorry you're just so jealous of me.
That's way better. Sorry. I don't have any other quotes. I just have the one where she has like that vivid, just like sex vision of with Nikolai. Where
I'm telling you that scene.
He says, "Annika, you must get dressed," he repeated. She quivered as he turned his face away from her towards the source of her frustration. His warm hand slid up her calves and coaxed her knees apart, and before he resumed that exhilarating gaze into her eyes, she saw him take her by the waist and turn her around and then push her onto her hands and knees right there in the grass. She felt his hands grab onto her hip bones and pull her backwards onto that white-hot spire of his, diving deeper and deeper into her body. Then she blinked and realized that she was still standing in front of him, clutching his shoulders. Ay, ay, ay. White-hot spire, baby.
Well, I think it's just
like, and I think it's funny that she'll call things like honeycomb, and she'll like use white-hot spire for pee-pee and vagina, but she's got a vampire called Badge in the story.
Yeah.
The vampire is literally VAJ, Badge. And I don't care like how you're supposed to pronounce it. If that's not the pronunciation, I was just like, Badge. Badge is attacking her again. Bloody Badge.
Symbolism.
He attacks her twice.
Symbolism. Her vag is trying to kill her.
But then they kill the vag?
Yeah, it's a representation of the murder of female sexuality.
Her sexuality, yeah. Squashed. Drowned. Melted. Doesn't he like melt?
Burst into fire water flames.
Yeah. Yeah. I see what she did.
I just like that scene because you know that Nikolai could read her thoughts. So he like saw all of that sexy vision, but he was just like, deep breath, get dressed.
Okay, baby girl, you need to calm down. Yeah, she tells him later. She's like, why didn't you say anything? And he's like, you know, we have the amulet. That's all it is. Chill. Like,
I can just picture his face being like.
And then she was worried about Talvi, like, knowing that she had this like crazy sexual fantasy. I'm like, girl, don't stop worrying about this guy. God. Stop worrying about him. He's fine. He's 200 years old. He's fine.
It's a fantasy.
Except he's not fine, though, so...
He's not. He's, like, super... The chapter is called Jealous Boyfriend.
Yeah.
Also, there's a chapter called, like, It's Not Technically Lying, or if it's not lying... The definitions of lying, something like that. Oh, my God. It's like, if you were trying to justify what is and isn't a lie, you're guilty because you did something wrong.
Mm-hmm. Okay, question. What would you choose? Because we already said like you guys would go to like the twin magic world instead of staying in normal world with microwaves and washing machines. Okay, if you could choose, what would you pick? Would you choose to become immortal and live forever with your boyfriend, or would you choose for your boyfriend to become mortal and you live like your normal life with him?
Can I be immortal and not have a boyfriend?
That's what I would think too, but I was asking for the sake of the theme, you know, because he like doesn't he make her immortal?
Yeah.
Without her consent.
Without
I know,
asking
that really
her.
pissed me off.
Like, what are you doing?
I don't know, maybe can I like try out the mortal thing, and then if I think it's gonna like last forever, then I go immortal? Can we have a trial? Can we have a trial mortal period?
Yes? I don't know. It was just like a this or this. I don't know.
I don't think I'd want to be immortal, honestly. Like, period, with or without a boyfriend. I don't think.
No, that's what I was asking. Some people don't find immortality attractive. If I was stuck with someone, no thanks. But
be immortal and then lock him in like a basement when I don't want to deal with him.
Yes. Let's just all go to Earth.
I'll be
Let's
immortal.
all go to Thra. Whatever this fucking place is called. Let's all go to Thra, become immortal wood nymphs, and ride like wolves and deer and alpacas forever. Yeah. And let's just do that.
That sounds fun. I can deal with that. Cause see, here's the thing: is
honestly, you know what? No, I changed my mind. I would be immortal because in their world, immortal isn't really immortal. Like, I could still throw myself out a window if I was done with the whole life thing, and like it would be over. So.
Launch yourself onto a metal spire.
No, I'm just saying I don't think I'd want to be
hot spire. Best way to go.
I wouldn't want to be immortal if I really honestly couldn't die, but yeah, I just remembered that in that world you can still die.
Yeah, you're just like you just last a long time.
It's like your immune system is fantastic, but you can still get beheaded or like something like that. It's just that you won't like get cancer and die, or like you won't.
Exactly.
Yeah, so I'll take that, and then I'll just peace out I'll probably peace out before you guys, but we can hang out for a while.
What?
I become immortal and then secretly start giving my family blood transfusions without them knowing.
Oh man, like
wait till they're asleep.
I thought about. Did anyone think about Harry Potter as they were reading it though, about the unicorn blood or whatever? And I'm like, Voldemort. I thought that the bad guy was gonna be like a Voldemort guy, like a Voldemort kind of person trying to like be immortal or whatever.
Honestly, the bad people like weren't really fleshed out at all, and like the whole plan was weird. And like, I hate that like they got so successful with such like a crappy little thing that could be destroyed just like that with like zero work. Like, I thought, like, it made me mad that they were, like, defeated so easily. Like, it just, I don't know.
Feel bad for the eco-terrorists.
Well, I mean, it
also slaughtered.
Yeah, it also kind of sucked. And then, like, the daughters were there and, like, the wives. Like, it was just weird. I don't know. I didn't like it.
Yeah. It felt a little tacked on. Also, their name was stupid.
But I mean, at that point, like, by the time they got there to have this final, like, super intense battle, we were already, like, 98% of the way through with the book, so...
Yeah, by the time we got to the battle, I was like, no one's gonna die in this story.
Okay, really quick, as a Spanish speaker, did you think that two things. Did you think that the name Cazadora was stupid? Because I thought it was stupid. Like the name of the falcon or whatever, or something, they call it Cazadora, like real on the nose huntress, and or it was one of the horses or a bird or something. And then when they're talking, it was a raven, yeah, and they call her Cazadora. I'm like, no one here would. As Spanish speaker, I can't. I'm sorry, I can't.
I wasn't necessarily hating on the fact that her name was Cazadora, but I was hating on the fact that she's like, ooh, that means huntress. I'm bilingual. I speak Spanish and I understand Portuguese and I speak English and I play instruments and I know archery and I'm really good at cooking. Like, that's what.
Yeah, and then...
anytime she's like, I know what that means.
And then they start speaking Spanish. And it's kind of like weird Spanish, like Google Translate Spanish.
That really annoyed me. It always pisses me off.
I was like, that doesn't make any fucking sense.
No, it always pisses me off when like an author can't actually be bothered to find a native speaker to fucking like write her translations for her. Because this happens all the time. I feel like I'll be reading a book and I'm like, seriously, like how much time could it have possibly taken you to like write to your one friend who knows Spanish and be like, hey, is this correct?
Like, not if you want to sound, not if you don't want to sound like a weird robot translator.
Because I was like, what the hell is this shit? Obviously, I'm not going to understand the French one or the Portuguese one, but this was, I felt like this Google Translate. It says, aprendí tanto el funcionamiento justo en restaurantes de la cocina. ¿Qué? El funcionamiento. Estudié en España por 1 año y una mitad.
That's literally a Google Translate.
I'm like, what? I know that what she's trying to say is for 1.5 years, but if I were to kind of like convert that to English, it would be like me like saying, oh my god.
For people who don't speak Spanish, that translates to, I learned the functionality.
The correct functionality.
The correct functionality at a kitchen.
In a restaurant.
And then it was like, I lived in Spain and studied for like
it would be like saying something like 1/2 year. Which would be like correct if it was like time and you were like, it's 3:30, but it's not applicable to when you're talking about a year.
1.5 years past.
Yeah.
It was something
like that. And if you look, it says, si usted mira, en la parte posterior del sótano, usted encontrará algunos vinos de España. Asumo que mi acento era absolutamente bueno allí también. I guess it doesn't have to be perfect, but like, damn, those first 2 sentences, well, she says, if you look in the posterior of the basement.
Of the cellar. Of the basement.
Of the cellar. If you look in underneath the cellar, I'm like, just say the cellar. It's underneath. There's nothing underneath the cellar. I don't know. But that was like, what the hell?
It's like when people in movies are like, oh yeah, I'm really good at eating with chopsticks, and immediately drop their sushi. That's what this felt like to me. Like, I'm really good at speaking Spanish.
Oh, yeah.
And then
it's always disappointing. It's always disappointing when they're like, oh, there's Latinos in this. Oh, none of them can speak Spanish. God damn it. Anyway, whatever. That was my own, like, super random, but I remember I had it marked, I wrote it down, and I flipped the paper over, and I was like, the Spanish! I didn't know if you guys were irritated by that, but I was.
Oh, so much. I was, oh my God. I'm like, oh my God, Annika, stop. Stop, Annika. Stop. Like, when she picks up the bow and arrow and starts trying to shoot and being all cocky, I'm like, Annika, you don't know what you're doing.
But she does. She learns everything, and she's great at everything, and she wants to have sex with everything, and everything wants to have sex with her.
Oh my God.
So that was it. That was the flame and the arrow. Oh God, I wish that they had been better, because I saw the cover and I was like, ooh, this looks like, I don't know. I don't know what I thought.
Also, I just realized, wait, what does the title have to do with anything? The flame.
I don't know.
I wish they left it Balkan magic.
Wait.
Is it her vagina flame? The flame she puts inside?
And he shoots bows and arrows, and she shoots bows and arrows.
That's it. She's a fake, even if it was about her hair, she's a fake redhead. She's not really a redhead.
I can't get over that either. That offends me. I
Like
love
on the
redheaded
cover,
women.
she's a redhead on the cover.
By the way, audience,
this would have made a perfect anime.
the only reason we find out that she's not a real redhead is because Tavi gets jealous because her and Nicola are talking, and people are talking about how she's so feisty because she's a redhead, and Nicola's like, yeah, you have the personality a redhead, and the only reason he knows that is because he saw her pubes, and they're not the color of her hair, and Tavi realizes that he saw her pubes, and he gets mondo jelloid for like 14,000 years because he realizes this dude saw her naked, even though he saw her naked because he saved her while someone was trying to kill her while she was
saving her
bathing.
from drowning or getting eaten
He's
by vag.
like, yeah, Tommy's like, oh, what? He couldn't look the other way while he was saving you? Why do you have to look at your vag? And she's like, I was drowning and I was bleeding out.
Yeah.
My naked
body because I was bathing.
I was dying. And you know what happens when you're dying and you're naked?
People's
junk's kind of just out there.
It's just out. You don't care.
I'm sure there's a lot of rabbits in the rainforest who are like, she's not a real redhead. Don't fall for it.
Oh my
it's
goodness.
a dye job. Even though she's been here for a month and a half, her roots haven't come in yet. Just don't fall for it.
How did she keep her roots weren't coming in her hair?
I don't know.
She's like, I get it redone every like 2 or 3 months. I'm like, bitch, after
Nobody.
like a week, your roots are visible.
No, I remember they said that, and I was like, stop trying to justify like why nobody has noticed. Like, there is no one who has their hair colored who does it every 3 months, especially if you have like a very vibrant color like her red. Like, you know, she has to do it like once a month.
They just wanted to talk about her pubes.
Yeah.
Oh, good grief.
I thought she was a modern girl, though. I'm surprised she didn't like have hardwood floors.
Right? That she had like landscaping. She's so modern.
Guys, there's no like razors or waxing in fairy world.
Or in like fucking France.
If her roots haven't come in enough to be obvious, there's no way she has enough downstairs action happening.
True.
I just, whatever. Fuck this book hard.
I don't know what the next book is going to be. Our hangout was supposed to be like earlier in the week or the month. It just didn't happen. But the Vaginal Fantasies is tomorrow, so I guess sometime tonight or tomorrow we'll find out what the next book is.
I hope it's like a good one. We're due for a good one. We're due for like a Gollum and the Ginny, or like something like that, or like the Silver Spoon one. Like, I want another one of those.
Well, I remember we were supposed to read the song book, but I remember reading that, and then the first scene was really strange, and then it was these two 13-year-olds like having sex, and I'm like, okay, I don't need to read this. Goodbye. I was like, just so disturbed. Yeah, it was the fantasy one. Yeah, and because he gets sent back, they're both like teenagers, and it squicked me. And I told you guys, I'm like, I don't want to read this, and so we didn't, and it was really, really long. And then
Tashay's face.
Also,
I'm sorry, Christina.
okay, and I'm gonna just put this out there. Y'all would have liked, if you had made it to the end, y'all would have liked Affinity. We would have had so much to talk about.
I'm still working on it. I'm working on it. I've been busy.
Okay, it's fine. I'm just saying. I'm just saying that book had a lot.
Kris, one day we will read it. It'll be like a year from now, and I'll read it, and then I'll send you a message in like all caps, and I'll be like, "What the fuck, Kris? Like, why didn't you make me read this? Like back when it was our
Just saying. It was pretty. It was a little spooky.
Working on it. I'm working on it, and I also went and I saw The Handmaiden. Which I did not realize, watching the Handmaiden movie, that it was based on Fingersmith, also written by Sarah Waters.
Oh, wow. There you go.
15 minutes into watching the movie Handmaiden, which is like a Korean film, by the guy who created Old Boy. I was like, why do I know this movie? Why do I know this movie? I feel like I remember this is going to happen, and then it happened, and I'm like, and I go, is this based on a book? He's like, yeah. And I'm like, is this based on Fingersmith by Sarah Waters?
Wait a minute. Yeah. Sarah Waters? Affinity?
Yeah, and then I was like, numbers. Windowsill.
Like the scene in Hangover is just like calculating.
I need to go to the movies. I feel like there's so many movies out right now that I want to see, and I haven't seen any of them.
All right. I want to see The Handmaiden. I don't know if they're going to bring it to PR.
Watch Handmaiden. Watch Arrival.
Do you guys see Fantastic Beasts? Where to find them?
I haven't seen any of them, and I haven't seen... I know.
I'm going to try to go next week.
And my sister said that the Loving movie was, like, really good. And I've also heard really good things about that one.
I'll see Moana.
Yes, that one too.
I'm ready.
But
okay.
See, I can't afford
to we usually say goodbye.
Okay. But I'm just saying, if I was to watch all these movies, I would have to spend like $80 or something. So it's not going to happen.
Just come to PR. The tickets are still $6 here.
Actually, I went to the movies while I was in Pennsylvania, and I went during the hours. It was $7.
Wait, are we still live?
Yeah, we are. Okay, internet.
Bye.
Goodbye. Watch all of the movies.
Yes.
All the movies. Read all the books.
And check out Flame in the Arrow.
Don't check it out.
Like honeycomb euphemisms. Love honey.
Don't check it out.
Don't